Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Honey Pop. We have another interview for you, and today we are with the incredible Jagwar Twin. He is just a genius, in my opinion. He just came out with his album 33. He played Firefly Festival, and he has a entire NFT code world called the Hall of Mirrors, which we got to dive deep with him about. Um, yeah, it's an honor to get to speak with him and learn a little bit more about the behind the scenes of the Hall of Mirrors, getting into the nitty gritty of his album 33 and the production on it. But yeah, so without further ado, let's get into the interview. Since we've talked to you a year ago, what has changed in your life from then to now?
Feel like every day is like a whole new life. So like from a year, I don't know, pretty much everything.
Okay. I mean, it's
Honestly.
it's true.
Yeah, honestly.
A lot has
Everything.
changed.
Everything and nothing.
Okay. So since everything has changed, we'll get some good answers from these, I guess.
Sure will.
Okay, so you've gone through many reinventions of yourself and your sound, from Alaska to Roy English to now Jaguar Twin. What do you think these different iterations of yourself have allowed you to achieve, and what do you think has remained consistent in your music all along?
I think really at the root of all the different names and iterations, the root was me trying to remember who I was. But I think in order to do that, sometimes we put on a mask. And I feel like I needed to almost like disassociate from who I thought that I was. Um, and I kept changing because it was like, well, now I'm this and now I'm this. And it's a weird thing. I think you can get into this like, well, who am I really? Like, am I Jaguar Twin or am I Roy or am I Alaska or am I whatever? Um, I think sometimes it's helpful to play a character until you realize that you do your best acting when you're not acting.
Yeah. No, I agree. But it's cool that you kind of have these kind of timestamps on your life, kind of in the public eye a little bit, but you know how you were feeling at each time in your path. So it's kind of nice because you can go back, and if you look at something that you did with Alaska, you're like, oh my gosh, I remember that time. Like, remember like when we did that? So I think it's really, really cool that you get to have these kind of timestamps in online and in your own personal life.
Yeah, it's like time travel. Like when I listen to old music, I'm like, wow, that was cool. Like that's where I was at that moment.
Yeah. No, that's super cool. But I want to get into the Hall of Mirrors. So, um, one, obsessed, and two, I have spent so much time on this website. We've been trying to break codes, unlock new rooms. Is there a method to the coding and what you decide becomes a code versus what does not? And why is an egg one of the codes? I had to put that in for you.
um, yeah, there is a method. So I don't want to give too much away, but there it's helpful to look in artifacts that have been discovered because many times there are codes to unlocking other artifacts within there. Why is egg not a code? Probably because currently uh, egg is just everything. So it can't be a code because it's everything. It would unlock the whole thing.
Okay, that's a good answer.
I don't know.
You're like, I don't know at this point, but that's good.
I'm lost. I'm just as lost.
Honestly, we are too. So, but it's fun. It's been really fun getting to kind of explore it, and we're learning a lot actually behind the scenes. Like we have conversations all the time about what we're learning, and so I don't know a lot about like mythology and all that kind of stuff, but like it's nice to get to learn it and then also learn something about yourself at the same time.
Yeah, that's really the purpose of the Hall of Mirrors, is to be a mirror, and for
Mhm.
all of us who are participating in it to learn something. I learned so much from you guys, like more than I could even express. Like you guys will uncover something or unlock something and then go way further with it. And I'm just like, wow, I just learned something from this. So
Yeah.
it's very, very fun.
No, it's cool because our little Discord group is just
It's
insane.
magic.
And I'm
It's
just like,
so magical.
I'm just kind of on the sidelines and I'm just like, I don't understand how you think of this stuff, but I'm so glad your brain works this way because mine does not.
But yours also does. It's
Not,
different. Everyone has a
yeah,
different way. Like my brain doesn't work the way Lid's does. Like
yeah.
that's like on, I don't even understand. But like, and same with you. And it's like we all work different
I
ways.
usually can tell that there's something off with something, and I'm like, all right, we need to look into this guy.
Yeah.
And then they're like,
It's like
oh,
the
this is what this
intuitive
is.
power.
Yeah, we'll say that. That'll be my power.
It, it is.
Okay, um, so there's been plenty of debates on what you want to call your fandom, and we know that like you don't
Oh yeah.
particularly care for the word fan because you feel closer to us than that. But if you had to give them a name today, what would it be?
See, like I don't feel like I should be the one to come. I have so many names that I like. And like there's been what that we have, like the circle, we got the chaos order, we got I like the pack. The pack is cool.
Yeah.
But then like do Jaguars run in packs? Like, no,
No,
not really. But
no.
maybe. I don't know. I can't be the one to give this name. What do you think it should be?
I
What
don't
do
know.
you like? Not should be. Which one do you personally like?
I kind of like the circle. I think it just it because it ties into the album. So I think it
Circle.
I think it looks really cool.
But
So
if I'm on stage and I'm like, who out there is from the
oh,
circle?
you're right. You're right.
But I'm like,
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think they would get it. But then maybe
and
then they would want to understand, so they'd come join.
maybe there's layers of it. Maybe like like it's whatever, the pack or
Hmm.
the Cubs or like something that's like very Jaguar Twin. But then like as you get in, like in our Hall of Mirrors Discord, like we're the circle. But then within our circle, there's like the inner circle, the
Yeah.
inside of the inside.
Okay. Okay.
We got layers to our
Yeah. We got
fandom.
yeah, we got layers to the fandom, and that works.
Great.
I think that works because there's layers to your work anyway, so I think it just fits.
Yeah, cool.
Um, so I want to so NFTs are a little kind of a volatile topic. Um, but you've proven time and time again that you fully believe in the technology and you focus your future on it. What do NFTs allow you to do musically and creatively that you can't do with more traditional methods of music promotion and marketing?
Well, I think part of the whole experimentation with NFTs is just the ability that it gives me to create a big story that can immerse people, and building something like the Hall of Mirrors where you can discover um, pieces of the album, pieces of myself, and sort of other like knowledge that went into making the art. Um, and like having them be free artifacts that people can discover, I think is really cool. I mean, you do have to pay gas, as you know. Um, but like the difference is like NFTs right now, if someone releases an NFT, it's like rarity or value, monetary value is based on, you could buy like a really expensive like ape NFT or like crypto punk, like one of those, like popular, but like you have to be really rich to buy one of those things. And that's a rare thing. Or there's ones like, like Pokemon cards where you get like a pack and it's the rarity of it and the value of it is like random. You might get one or you might get one that's worth nothing. But what's awesome about what the Hall of Mirrors brings is it's like the fans who are paying attention and who are like getting into this world can discover and own NFTs that like they could just keep if they want, but then they could also sell them on the secondary market and like win that way. And I don't think like there's been a platform where really fans can win and be incentivized to do what they would want to do anyway. But then also like there's the potential for them to financially win when in the past it's just been like, the record labels are the ones who are winning the most. And then it's like, the artist and then the fans, like you really historically don't get anything for like fans make artists' career way more than the record labels even, and so it's sort of been upside down this whole time. And it's my attempt in the beginnings to turn it around, and give the fans something valuable. I think it's so cool, and I think it's good for the fans, it's good for the artists, and I think in the long run, it's good for even the record labels and the business because it creates more sustainability. But we'll see.
No, I agree because I this is kind of the first time I've been involved with NFTs, and it's one of those things that's kind of it's a learning curve. But I do see the value in it, and I like the fact that you are so focused on the fans because they are, I mean, the Honey Pop was started because of fans wanting to kind of have a voice and also want to change how artists are treated a bit more with like the questions they get asked in interviews. Like we don't want to know specific
Yeah.
like certain things. Like I want to know that you're okay when you have like a song come out and it's a little sad. Like I want to know that you're okay now. But like I don't need to know details because that's not the relationship that we have. So it's good that you have that kind of focus on this. And I do think NFTs in the future and like the blockchain and everything is going to really just kind of turn everything around, and I think it needs to happen.
I think so too. And there's the environmental questions and things that come up too, and they're great questions to be asking. I think with any technology, it forces movement and expansion in the technology. Like I have friends who are working on like they have like acres of solar mines to help the problem where it's like they're not using energy because they're using solar, and it's expanding that technology growing like rapidly because we have to fix the problem.
Yep.
um so I think it's all forward movement.
I think so too. And you're coming in on the ground. And so I think you'll be able to kind of have your mark on this industry, showing what can be done and what can be done and not have like a negative effect on like fans or any or like the entire like spectrum of music and
Totally.
music promotion. You're doing it for like positivity on all ends.
Yeah,
So
because I mean, I'm glad that people have been sort of upset about NFTs at times because it has been just money grabs for fans. Like, yeah, buy this thing, and it's like that's not cool. It's not helpful. It's not artistic. It doesn't do anything. Um, but it's like any technology. It's how you use it.
mhm. No, I agree completely. So yeah. Um, but I want to get into the music now. So Happy Face is a breakout song for you. So congratulations. What have you learned from Happy Face moving forward and making your music now?
to trust myself, um, and just tell the truth to the best of my ability, meaning tell the truth, like, how do I feel about something? Do I believe in this thing? And just go where the truth is.
I love that. I think that's a really good lesson that you've been able to learn, because I think everyone can learn that. Um, Everyone just needs to kind of trust your gut, and
Yeah, it's
sometimes it's a little
simple as
hard.
that.
I know it's such a simple thing to say, but it's hard. It's not easy to trust yourself and know that you know what's best for you. And I mean, if you release something and it doesn't do as well, at least you trusted yourself and you released something that you're proud of. And it might not do well at the time, but then it flips
Yeah, and that's
and does
such
well
the
later.
pattern of telling the truth is sometimes at the time it seems like it's a negative. I mean, even Happy Face was written in 2000, it's like I think it was 20 end of 2018 or beginning of 19. And then it was like the song sucks with the label I was on, they wouldn't release it. And then like, all these years later, now, it did really well, but sometimes you just kind of gotta wait it out, and especially when it's from an intuition place and the heart place, because the heart sees far farther into the future than the mind or than the eyes, and so sometimes you have to wait for that to catch up. um but
Yeah.
trust it.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a good viewpoint to have, because it does suck if you're trying to release something and you're super proud of it and people aren't kind of going along with it, because you're like, no, like just trust me, like it's good. But then a couple of years later, now look where you're at. Like Happy Face went viral. It's an incredible song. It's one of my favorites. It's not my one favorite, because I do have a favorite, and
What is it?
it's Down to You.
Yes.
Um, I haven't really seen many people talk about that one too much. Like they usually go with The Circle or a different song, but like Down to You, oh my God. Like, I want to know. Okay. So I'm
Mhm.
not a production artist. I know nothing. I can just listen and I know that there's a production value on it. And it's like I don't know what it's called, but like I think it's super cool. So how involved are you on the production side? And did you always know that Down to You was gonna like have that like drop thing that it does?
um yeah, I mean, it depends. Like some songs I'm like very, very involved. I'm involved in the production of everything in degrees. Like song like The Circle is like pretty much I produced the whole thing. Down to You was mostly Matt Pauling. Although like with the all comes down to you comes down, like we worked on that part together and crafted that and some sounds and things. Um, but it's a collaborative process. And sometimes like knowing when to step out and get out of the way because someone's just going with their production, like that's something that I've learned.
Mhm.
Um, and then also sometimes when you're just like, nah, I got this, like I have a vision, and there's some songs on the album where it's just like, I want to do this. And but yeah, I like to be involved in the production.
I just think it's so cool. Because I'm not like a songwriter. I don't do music. I just listen and write about it. So
I
it's
love
just, but I love kind of learning about like the behind the scenes aspects of it, because I'm not in the room with y'all when you're creating these masterpieces of art, and then you like release it. I'm just like, oh my God, like where did this come from? Like how did
it.
you how did you hear that and just like create it? I don't know how to explain it ever. And I'm just like, where does this come from? This is so cool.
I don't know. There's sometimes when it just like I really, well, yeah, like I guess it's the idea like where does anything come from? Like where do thoughts come from? Where do ideas come from? And I think there's a source that it all comes from, and we just gotta like empty our minds. Like song like The Circle, just like, here you go,
Mhm.
Roy, here it is. And then I was like, whoa, I didn't really write it. And there's other songs where I like laboriously go through, and those are great too. They're both fun processes, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
No, I just find it super fascinating. So when you're in the studio or the songwriting like room, like session, like do you usually have, and this is like a very basic question, and I'm sorry, but I really like to know because I find it super fascinating. Do you like more of the collaborative side of it where you're coming in and you might just have like a thought and an idea of something that maybe happened to you or something you experienced or saw someone experience, or do you like coming in with like a solid concept of like this is what we are going to write about today?
Hmm.
So kind of like when you're going into those sessions, like what do you prefer to do?
What I prefer to do is have no idea what's going on, and then have a bed of music that just like makes me feel something. And then I just say the first things that come to mind, and then it usually makes sense later. That's my favorite way. Um, but I write all different kinds of ways. Sometimes I'll come in with a concept
Mhm.
to something about something I want to write about and build it around there. I'm not really like a good musician though. So like I sing, but like in terms of like playing stuff and knowing music theory, like I just kind of play until like it feels good, but I don't really know about music technically speaking.
I mean, I don't think you have to.
You don't have to,
Not
but
with what the work that you're putting out. I don't think you really need the technical skill. I think it's good.
thank you.
No, because I mean, I don't know the technicals of anything either, as you've seen in this interview. I'm just kind of like, I don't know what this is called, but I think it's super cool. Do you have anything to do with that?
I love it. I
um,
love it.
but no, I think music is. I think anyone can do music. Like I could probably even try, but I probably
You
won't
definitely
because
could.
I'm no, I'm. I don't think that's my skill, but I could probably try.
Anybody can. It's like, and I think that's what's so beautiful. We have the tools where like
Mm.
even if you don't know how to sing, like there's auto tune, and you can make your voice sound awesome without knowing how to sing. And you could get on Splice, and there's all these like loops, and you just like, and that's so cool because if you have something to say, then it allows you to say it.
No, I do think that's cool. I just don't think I have the ear for it. Like coming up with my own concept. Like I can listen to stuff and I'm like, oh my God, that's super cool. Like, oh, I love that. Cause there'll be like different hooks and different like melodies and stuff. And I'm just like, wow, that like I really love that. Um, I just don't think that's my skill, and that's fine. I'm okay with it. I
It's
like
fun.
to just listen to other people's art and do my part in promoting it.
Well, I'm glad that you're here to do that.
Thank
It's
you.
really cool.
No, it's super cool. I love and and your whole experience with the Hall of Mirrors and everything, it just like I've never seen an artist do this. We've seen it kind of like um in the smaller scales, I think they kind of try to do stuff like this, but this is on like a grand scale of like I've never seen in my life, and it's super fun, and I love it.
I don't think anyone else has ever done it.
I don't think so. I think they've tried to do little, not NFTs obviously, and not like this type of style, but like I think they've tried to get fandoms involved in certain aspects of stuff, but like this, like your brain, thank you so much. This is
Oh,
super
thank you. But without anybody to play the game, it would be
cool.
very boring.
Yeah, you're just sitting there like, okay, like
Cool. This
where's
is a good
everyone?
idea. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No,
So
it's
thank
super
you.
fun. So I wanted to kind of get away from 33 a little bit, but Following Subject to Flooding to 33, what would you say has been the biggest differences in your creative process, and what has been the biggest challenges?
I have really purposed to get out of my way, to stop thinking, to open my heart and trust my intuition and um, inner guidance, and and try to write from an intelligence that is way beyond my own intelligence.
I like that answer. I think, and I think everyone can kind of try to do that. I think
That's our goal as
yeah,
humans.
you just have a way with words. I don't I don't get it. Like you
I
say
don't
things.
know. I don't know about that. I feel like words are hard
They
because
are.
and I think that's why I became an artist, because it's difficult to articulate what's going on in here sometimes, because you feel things and you
Mhm.
understand them on a level, but then to articulate into left brain language word shapes is really difficult sometimes.
No, it is. Even on like the writing side of like when I get an album, because I listen to them top to bottom and I don't like skip songs until I've lived with the album for a while. Maybe
Mhm.
like after a month or two, then I'll like I know I really want to listen to like maybe Down to You, and then I'll like skip over to The Circle and all that and do that. But sometimes when I'm trying to think of how to articulate like what I feel when I'm listening to something, like I don't have words. I'm just like, this is great. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Love it. Masterpiece. And the people are like, but why? And I'm like, just listen. I don't
Yeah,
know.
totally. How do you explain?
Be like, it like tickled like a part of my brain. And I'm just like, I love it. Like
Mhm.
it spoke to me. And they're like, but why? And I'm like, I don't know. So
I
sometimes
think
I'm like trying to write an article for the Honey Pop, and I'm just like, I don't know what to say, guys. Like, just listen to it,
totally,
please.
totally. It's wild trying to articulate something, and that's what's so cool about art. Is it there's something that different art does for different people, but there's something that pulls in your almost subconscious or your heart, and you're like, there's something here. Like when I experience a song I love, or a piece of art that I love, or a movie I love, it's like something inside of me is going, there's something to learn from here. Or Harry Potter is a great example of that. Like even when I was a kid, like I was fascinated by, well, why? Now I know why
Mhm,
more now, but at the time I was just fascinated by it because it's, really it's a Harry Potter is a documentary
mhm.
of the soul journey. So it's like, well, of course it resonates with people.
No, and I think that yeah, it's just with all forms of media and art and stuff, it's just like sometimes it's just really hard to like, and then also if you live with this album, because I also don't like to ask about what things are specifically about, because yes, there was a reason why you wrote this song based on like a life experience that you had or what you witnessed or something. But a lot of the times it's a little generic. So then it can
Mhm.
relate to other people. Cause sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, someone wrote this really sad song and like I cried about it. But I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm pertaining it to my life. And I'm like, please tell me this didn't happen to you. And they're like, no, it did. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sad for you. Are you okay? Like, are you okay now? And they're like, yeah, I'm great. I'm like, thank you so much. Like, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
But it's so how long ago did you write this album?
2 years.
2 years?
Well, 2 years it started. Started in 2020 and then finished it. I don't know when the finish date was, maybe like 6 months ago or something, 6 months before the release.
So then a lot of your songs were created from past experiences that you might not have you've probably circled away from or healed from. Is that kind of correct? Probably.
I don't know. I
Because I
think
feel like, sorry. I feel like when we get an album, it had been created in the past. So like for certain songs, you lived with the song for 2-3 years before we even got word that you wrote the song. So a
sure.
lot of times, especially if it's more of a emotional song, the artist has already healed from it. And so they're kind of like, oh yeah, like I was sad 2 years ago, but I'm fine now. I'm super happy. And also I'm trying to release this happy song now because I've lived with this album for too long. So
Yeah, yeah. That'll happen when I'm like, man, there's a lot of like slow, sad songs, and you get on stage, like, I wish I had a couple I could dance to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but I wanted to ask about Firefly. So you got to perform at Firefly. One, how was it? And two, how are festivals different for you from other types of maybe smaller shows that you've done?
Yeah, Firefly was awesome. It was really cool to see people there like singing along and like wearing Jaguar Twin shirts. Like I didn't really know what to expect, but it was it was rad. Like so many people knew the words too. And that's all such a cool feeling. Um Festivals are special because it brings like so many different people together who like different genres of music. And um I was opening the main stage, which was so cool because it's like everyone who's coming from or every genre is like now they're right there. Um, yeah, it was fun. It was really fun, and just walking around. There's such cool energies at festivals.
No, I'm so sad I wasn't there because even you announced that you were going, I was like, wait, where is that? Like, and I was like, oh, it's too far from me. I was
That's a
like,
little far.
it was a little far. I was attempting though. I was like trying to think. I was like, what if I drive? What if I drive? How much would it cost? And then I'm like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, he'll come around to my side of the country. So I was like, I'll just wait. I'll just watch videos and see pictures and stuff. So but yeah, it was super cool. I was super stoked when you announced that you were gonna be on that stage because I was like, you deserve it.
Oh, thank you.
It's super exciting though. So I guess the last question, what do you hope that fans new and old take away from 33?
I hope that whoever listens to it can learn something about themselves, can see themselves. The purpose of the album is to help first remind myself who I am, but also to remind others who they are.
No, I like that. I think that's a really perfect answer because as someone who has listened to the album multiple times, like multiple times, I think everyone will find something new about themselves listening through the album. And you'll keep learning, honestly, because even I've lived with it for a little bit now, and even to this day I'll listen. I'm like, wait, where did that come from? I was like, I didn't hear that. Did you trick me?
I love that. Yeah, and I love, my favorite music is stuff that even like I love reading just the lyrics without the music and then being like, oh, how does that make me feel? And then when paired with the music, how does that make me feel? So,
No, I think that's true. I think music itself, there's so many important pieces of it. The lyrics are super important and hopefully they make people feel something, but the music itself and the production and
yeah,
all of that work that goes into it is art in its own right too. So, but yeah, I really love the album. I think it's
thank you.
I I truly, and it's not just me saying this. I truly think it is a masterpiece. Like it is just art. And I'm just so grateful that you've allowed us to even listen to this, because it is you. So I just feel honored that you allow us to like get a little bit of insight into you.
Thank you. That means so much.
Oh, I just, yeah, I really love the album. It's album of the year for me. So, and I
You're not just saying that because I'm here on the screen.
no, I'm not kidding. Like,
I
yes,
know.
Midnight's did just come out, and Midnight's from Taylor Swift is really good. Like, but 33, not top of the list for me. You might have seen me on Twitter freaking out last night, but I did it for 33 too.
I love it.
No, it's such a good album. Like, it's just, and then the Hall of Mirrors having that tie into it, and then having the Discord and being able to kind of interact with you on that level as well after we got like your art. It's just, I love it. And the fact that there's so many codes out there it's stressing me out.
There was more.
But it's good. It's fun. It's so much fun. Truly. So
It's fun to be doing it with you.
yeah. But thank you. Like, that's, you don't have to give us this ever. Like, you don't have to create the Hall of Mirrors, which had to have taken you a long time to come up with, because that spreadsheet, I still want like the actual spreadsheet. I'm like,
Oh
please,
gosh. The
someone give it to
spreadsheet
me.
alone was like 6 months.
Yeah. And I'm just like, someone give me access to that spreadsheet, please. And y'all are like, no. And I'm like, but I need it. Like,
You can still, you
we
can
can
go,
still see it,
you
but
can see it,
I want
right?
the actual back end access.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, I want to know everything. And
Yeah.
y'all are like, no. Proprietary
No, probably
information.
can't give
No.
you that. You'll know too much.
But we made our own spreadsheet. So
Those Trello boards are great.
oh my
I
god,
love
they're
looking
amazing.
on those.
They're amazing. I learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Lids will just come into the Discord and be like, hi, here's this. And I'm like, where did that come from?
She's a genius.
Genius.
She's straight up a genius.
Genius. And I'm like, I'm in awe of like even being able to interact with you. Like,
I thought that even the amount of codes that you guys have unlocked so far, like I thought it was gonna take like, I don't know, a year, maybe
mhm.
two to get like to this point.
Oh
I'm like blown away.
no, we're like in the
It
background
was like
like, all right,
1 month.
yeah. And we're just like, all right, let's churn them out. Let's find them. And you're just like, what are you doing? Stop. Like
Yeah.
this, you
I'm
weren't supposed to see that yet.
yeah. I mean, there's ones that are harder now because it's like slowed down. But you
Mhm.
guys got some really difficult ones.
Yeah. No, I'm proud of us. I think we did. We've done good.
You guys have done great.
But yeah, I'm super honored to even just be able to interact with it and learn, because I'm learning every day on just different stuff. Liz will just come in the chat with something. I'm like, wow, I did not know that about life. Like, where did that come from? Like,
Yeah.
she's like, oh, I read it in this book. And I'm like, what book? Like, I need a copy of that.
Yep.
But yeah, so yeah, just thank you. Like, thank you so much for 33, Hall of Mirrors, and then sitting with us, because we're just super honored, and we love you.
But
Yeah,
appreciate you very much.
thank you. No, thank you. Like, seriously, it's an honor. So
I'll talk to you very soon.
yeah, Discord. Okay, guys.
Yeah, I'll see you in Discord.
Yep.
Okay.
Bye. That was our interview with Jagwar Twin. As you can see, he is an incredible human being. We absolutely adore him at the Honey Pop. I'm going to have all of his links down below, and that includes the streaming link for 33, which I need you all to listen to like right now. It is one of my top albums. Like, it is an incredible work of art. And then I will also have links down to the Hall of Mirrors and his Discord, where, as you could tell, There are multiple of us in there. We are talking about all the codes that we've deciphered, hints on new ones. It's just and then also his music. It's just an amazing community of like-minded people and who really love Jagwar Twin and his music, and also his other ventures, which is the Hall of Mirrors. And it's an incredible time. There are so many people in there, and we're learning things new every single day about ourselves and also about the world. But yeah, and then we'll also have all of our links down below. We also have a Discord, which we talk about pop culture and music and pretty much everything. Movies, you name it, we're probably talking about it. So we would love for you to join us over on Discord. We're there pretty much every day, all day, every day. But yeah, we would love you to join us and follow us on all of our social media. And definitely don't forget to check out 33 by Jagwar Twin.